You're listening to the Let's Go Buffalo podcast, your new favorite podcast for everything Bills and Sabres. What's going on, everybody? You're listening to the Let's Go Buffalo podcast, your favorite podcast for all things Bills and Sabres, with the pals Nigel, Tom, and Jake. Episode 24 coming at you. Quick reminder, make sure you follow our social medias. You can find us on Instagram and X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it at Let's Go Buff Pod. That is Buff with 2 F's. Let's say hello to the fellas. Tom, how we doing, pal?
Boys, we're like in the 4th dimension now. Say hello to the cameras. Everybody smile. Everybody wave. You can also find us now, freshly minted, the Let's Go Buff Pod YouTube channel. Is that the correct spelling of that, Nige? Is that correct? Is that what we did? Let's Go Buff Pod, just like our social media.
It's going to be it's the full thing. It's Let's Go Buffalo Podcast.
Okay, Let's Go Buffalo Podcast. Come find us and come hang. This is us experimenting, and we're just kind of messing around. But yeah, this is cool. I'm good, guys. I am plugging away, having a nice little week, and I'm excited to chat some. I'm excited that we have another week of actual playoff football to talk about. So this is not taken for granted. We are here. This is awesome. Torpedo,
what's shaking, you big, beautiful man?
Yeah, you can see me in all my glory or lack thereof now. I'm great, man. It's playoff football season. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see you guys on camera. And quick shout out to Nigel, because we had a birthday in the pod last week. So happy birthday, Nigel.
Oh,
hey, thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate
our
it.
elder statesman here.
That's right, dude. 31. Can you believe it?
We're gonna catch up in episode iterations to our age real quick here.
Yeah, before too long, we'll be there. I already fucked up. So our YouTube channel name is Let's Go Buffalo Podcast, but the handle, the is at Let's Go Buff Pod with 2 F's.
Oh, there we go. So, hey, folks, you know what? You're helping us figuring this out as we go. I like it.
There will be some growing pains. The YouTube thing might not even be something that goes great. We'll find out. But, trial by error as we learn to do these things and try to grow what we're doing here, because we think we're really freaking good at it. So we feel like we need to share it.
I think that goes on all of our tombstones. Trial by error. There's just 3 of us. Figuring it out this week.
All 31 years so far, dude. Just a whole lot of trial by error.
That's probably how I'm going to die too. It's both my motto and cause of death.
Yeah, right. That's why it goes on the tombstone. Oh man.
Hey, you know what?
Right,
really, we're just going for expediency here.
Yeah, that's it.
Efficiency.
Expediency. All right, fellas. Well, shame on me, dude. I go right to work and then teach a lesson in my studio, and here I am. I didn't go home. I'm beerless, but I know you two guys, you both look parched, and I know you guys have beers. So if you could please snap us in here, boys, I'll count you down. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Nice. Torpedo, let's start with you, buddy. What are you drinking from?
Yeah, sure. I can show the camera now. I'm drinking from Reinvention Brewing, the Super Fanatic Bills beer. It's a cream ale. It's just south of Rochester. Go Bills. Go Reinvention Brewing.
Nice, dude. What kind of beer is it? You said it's a what? Cream ale?
Cream ale, yeah.
I don't think I've actually ever had a cream ale, which is crazy because the Jenny cream ale is like a big deal.
Mm-hmm. It is.
So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking here. Schmitty, what are you drinking?
I have a little zero gravity beer, Little Wolf. It's a pale ale. It's one of my favorites. It's got a sweet little cover, but it's very tasty. Yeah, another Vermont beer. And I got to stock up on the Rochester, Western New York Buffalo beers next time I'm in town. I'll have to do it.
Yeah, bro. Be careful you don't float away drinking that, Tom.
Woohoo!
Could be dangerous. All right, fellas. Well, we had a lovely, lovely, lovely Week 18 W over the stupid freaking Miami Dolphins. The Bills beat them 21-14 this past weekend. And let's go around and get a positive out of this, boys. Anybody dying to go first?
Oh, I am. I got a dunk. Are you guys ready? Remember how I was the crazy one to say Josh Allen 300 for 3?
Yeah, I do remember.
Well, he was pretty darn close.
He was
pretty darn close. The guy played out of his freaking mind. He put us the entirety of Bill's Mafia into cardiac arrest for the first half of that game, and then put on his cape and went to work. So Josh Allen ended up with 30 for 38 passing, 359 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So, he ended up having to make a little mess and then clean it up himself. But I think I went on to take a little victory lap because everybody was saying that I'm crazy that he's going to have to go off on this game. And if he had one of those interceptions in the end zone go for an actual touchdown, I would have been perfectly correct.
Yeah, you would have nailed it. Yeah, dude, it was the full Josh Allen experience this week, right? Like Tom, I texted you maybe 10 minutes before the punt return for a touchdown, being like, fuck this dude, I'm going to bed. Like, yeah. I couldn't, I'm so disappointed in myself. I couldn't do it. I was just like, oh my God, like, we're going to just shoot ourselves in the foot to the point where we can't, we can't come back. And I think, we'll get to it in a little bit. Tom, credit to you because I did say, I was like, I can't get myself there. So that was awesome. I'm going to blame the rec league.
Take my little victory lap.
Torpedo, you got a positive you want to share with the class from the game?
Yeah, for sure. It's the tight end. It's Dalton Kincaid for me. He looked incredible that game. He's looked incredible a lot lately. He moves, he catches, he runs, he does it all in my eyes. He's been great. Do you guys agree? Like, what did you think of him playing that game?
Oh, dude, I'll jump to it right now then. I've got a little bullet point about him. I think this dude, and I really try to take my recency bias, or my Bills bias and recency, I guess, out of this equation. Easier said than done. But, like, the tape doesn't lie, dude. The guy is so unbelievably fluid, the way he plays and moves and runs. I think this dude is another season or two away from being regarded across the league as a top 3 tight end. He's just flat out special, dude. He's incredible.
And what's
so good?
It's amazing. And honestly, I think that one of the coolest part about him is that he hasn't had that rookie slump. Almost every rookie that we've had, and then honestly, every rookie across the NFL ends up hitting a wall, right? Just it goes great, and then the college season is not as long as NFL season. It's not as tough as the NFL schedule. It's not as tough as playing against NFL players. So eventually things catch up to him. And Dalton Kincaid really hasn't. And you've heard it from some of the veterans on the team, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. Like, people have come out and said, man, this guy has the look in his eyes and he's putting it together. So if this is his rookie year, sign me up for another 10.
So what sets him apart? Like, what makes him the athlete that he is that differs from other tight end players?
Go ahead,
so
Tom. Yeah, you
I'm going to take Nigel's vocab term. I'm going to take fluid, right?
Yeah.
So if you watch him play, he's not herky-jerky. He doesn't get to a spot, turn, and I have to be here. He is just – he looks like a ballerina out there, or like an ice skater, right? Like an Olympic ice skater. Like, he's just very flowing. Everything, not much motion is wasted. The guy just knows where to go, knows where to be. He knows how to catch the ball in motion and then continue his motion. So that's the part that's really amazing to me. And he knows where to be. Half the time when a rookie comes in, it's just like, where the heck do I line up? Where am I supposed to be? What route am I running? The guy, like, I don't know. I've not been a super hawk on his tape this year, but I haven't caught him very clearly being out of line anywhere.
Yeah, the kid is 6'4", 240, dude, and he moves like he's 6'3", 200, or 6'2", 190, like a wide receiver build, right? Like, he just the fluidity, like Tom and I said, his ability to catch and immediately turn around and get upfield is huge too, especially on this Bills team where our receivers typically we're not known for yards after catch. So to have a guy who, like, is very seamlessly, like, it's all one motion. He catches, and immediately is going up the field. But like Tom said, it doesn't look jagged or like herky jerky, to use Tom's phrase. It's just so smooth. And then the route running too, dude. The route running is very very seamless. He understands how to adapt his routes to the zone coverage that's taking place around him. He's it's you got to be careful throwing around this name, dude. But in truth, he's Kelsey-esque, dude. Kelsey, Darren Waller, these guys that are just really good with their route running and really good at finding the soft spots in the zone. Like, he's more athletic than Mark Andrews, the tight end in Baltimore. I don't know, man. He's gonna be a problem for a long time. I'm so
It,
stoked about this kid.
Yeah, no, phenomenal. And if there wasn't Sam Laporta up in Detroit, who had just like broke as many tight end records as he could, like
All the
Dalton
records.
Kincaid would be talked about so much more. Like Sam Laporta is phenomenal, and
He is.
just because Sam Laporta is phenomenal, it doesn't mean that Dalton Kincaid isn't also phenomenal. It's
Yeah.
just their usage. Sam Laporta was just like hooked up by, I don't know, IV straight to Jared Goff's like just own arm. The guy just like
Yeah.
they figured it out and just were connected. It was insane.
That's also the tendency of the quarterback, though, too, right? Like, Jared Goff is not the gunslinger that Josh Allen is. Like,
right.
Jared Goff is gonna just be better at taking like checkdowns to a tight end than Josh Allen is ever gonna be. So, there's that part to remember too. But and that's not me trying to take away from Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta was outstanding this season. But
Right.
yeah, dude, Dalton he's gonna be special, man.
Nige, what's your big takeaway? What's your favorite thing from the game?
Dude, and I guess this is a tip of the cap to Brandon Beane, but the depth on this football team, man, it was stressed this game, and it was stressed, and it wasn't stressed in a bad way, right? Like you had, and that's another bullet point I've got on our planning doc here. Shout outs to all the guys that had to come in and play very meaningful snaps. Dane Jackson had to come in for Rasul Douglas. Balin Spector had to come in for Tyrell Dodson. Trent Sherfield had to come in for Gabe Davis. All three of those guys not only came in and did a good job, but made big plays, dude. Dane Jackson punching balls out of guys' hands. Balin Spector, tackles for losses. Trent Sherfield, oh my God, that touchdown catch was jaw-dropping, dude. So, and then, you got a guy like Deontay Hardy coming in and making a huge play. So the depth on this football team being stressed and rising to the occasion, it's like I said, dude, you just got to give Brandon Beane his flowers because you don't have that depth without an awesome GM. So,
and those are all players that everybody's like, what the heck are they doing here? Right? Even me,
yeah.
I'm like, I remember being very vocal about Trent Sherfield in the last few weeks of like, what the heck why is the guy on the field? What are we doing? And he stepped up. So it's cool to see. And shout out Brandon Beane. The guy clearly, it paid off. His chances that he took paid off, and that was really cool. And to kind of dovetail on that, I'm just going to kind of go on to our roller onto our next point. Shout out Sean McDermott. Like, yeah. Brandon Beane set up these players, but Sean McDermott was willing to actually go ahead and use them, like in really intelligent ways. The guy has been in his bag the last few weeks. He has, ever since that stupid article, right? He's decided maybe that's the blessing in disguise. Maybe that's the blessing in this season's the little blemish that we needed to have, because Sean McDermott has just been coaching out of his mind. Sean's held the 7 of the last 8 opponents under 200 yards passing. 7 of the last
crazy.
8.
Wow.
We've played big, high-powered offenses. 2 of the most high-powered offenses being the Dallas Cowboys and the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Like, the guy has been
wild.
great. Yeah.
For sure. There's a couple more things I want to say about Sean McDermott, but before we get too far away from Josh Allen, I want to talk about a couple things with him. He was, regardless of the turnovers, which they weren't great, second INT you can live with because it's more or less a punt.
Yeah.
But the fumble was bad, right? Can't do that. Can't fumble the ball. I know Osiris Torrance got pretty worked, but Christian Wilkins works everybody. So, I'm not going to put that too much on Osiris Torrance. Take the sack for what you will. Josh has to hold on to that football. So he's not like totally guilt-free in this game. You got to hold on to the rock there. And then the
I
other
also,
thing,
I mean, I'm going to push back a little bit on that. I think that's a Christian Wilkins making an amazing play. That's a Pro Bowl, maybe even All Pro defensive tackle coming in and making a play. Like I get it. Yes, Josh should have doubled 2 hands on that ball, just go down. But I also think it was a good play by a great defender.
yeah, and you can look at it both ways, right? Like Tom, you always say the other guys get paid too. So there's that element, but you just you got to hold on to the ball. It's too important. I'm still begging for Josh to take what is given to him, right? Like that second INT, I think it was the second INT. He had Dalton Kincaid for the first down in it was a rub route, I believe, if I remember right. A rub route being, so on a rub route, one player will be looking to cross, another wide receiver will be coming to kind of set like a mini pick for the defender. So, and they kind of just like rub them a little bit so that their timing is thrown off and that creates some space for the intended receiver. The call from Joe Brady was great. It worked perfectly. Josh just actively chose to not go to Dalton Kincaid, which I found to be really frustrating, and then heaves it up looking to make a play, and it's a pick. So still looking for Josh to do a little bit more of taking what's given to him. But, like we talked about, it's the Josh Allen experience that we're living with.
He's got
game to game.
Eyes for the end zone, right? Like he's trying to make that splashy play, and he does regularly. Like he's capable of it. If that goes and gets caught in the end zone, we're not talking about Dalton Kincaid being open, right? Like that's why we love him. He's high risk, high reward. And I didn't mind that second interception, just taking a shot at the end zone. It's essentially, it was third down. It was a punt anyways, essentially, or a fourth down. So
yeah, the only reason I found it frustrating was because you saw the first down almost right away.
Yeah.
That's why it was such a bummer.
For sure.
But
or just rush. You're a big, gigantic giant man. Like just go get the 2 yards,
He
stick your,
He had another insane rush that reminded me. Sorry, the 3rd and 13. I think it was late in the game. Dude, just like I thought he was going to get tackled with like 7 yards to go, and he just barreled through 3 Miami defenders.
Yeah. So
he barreled through 3 and made one make a freaking business decision. Miami Dolphins.
That's what I was just gonna say. Cater Kohu,
dude. What's his name? Well, Cater
Kohu.
Kohu. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
The other guy does get paid, but he might not after that one.
This guy, we're on video. I'm gonna do the little dance. He did this. Whoa, ho, and he let him go.
Like a turnstile.
He jumped right out of the way, dude. I hope someday he hears this. Cater Kohu, I recognize you're a professional football player and I'm a chubby band director, but I'll tell you what, dude, you're a bitch. You're an absolute bitch. That was the stuff that wimps are made of. No two ways about it.
In the game, especially in the game that they needed to win. They needed to win just as bad as us. And you're not going to go try and tackle this quarterback who's coming at you? I don't know. Yeah, what are you doing on that team? I hope he gets ripped apart.
That guy's on my team, dude. I'm grabbing him by the face mask and I'm going, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
You're a bitch. You're a wimp.
And it was also Josh Allen just making a freaking play and just putting the cape on and going. And, again, why we love the guy.
Yep. Going back to Sean McDermott real quick, the second half adjustments, dude, like from the gods themselves, his second half defensive adjustments, because we were getting absolutely shredded by the run game by Miami. Like we talked about in the podcast going into the game, that outside zone toss was shredding us. Now, one thing that I didn't see coming, and I should have because it's the way football works, the wrinkles that Miami threw in on that toss, dude. I think, Tom, I might have been texting you, dude. I just didn't see how we were going to be able to adjust to that. Like, there were so many fakes and misdirections. Like, excuse me, Tua would fake one way and then like immediately toss it to Devon Achane in the opposite direction, which was not what they did against Baltimore. It just went the first way every single time. But oh my God, dude, and Tua was, to Tua's credit, dude, he was selling the shit out of those fakes. Every time they were going on, I was like, I don't know where the ball's going.
We're watching it from our couch and didn't know where the ball was going.
Exactly. with that over, like that bird's eye view camera. I was beside myself, dude. I was like, oh my God, I don't think we're going to be able to adjust to stop this. And by God, dude, Sean McDermott, and it seemed like, I'm sure there was more, but it seemed like the main thing that he did, we were playing 2 high safety looks, assumingly to take away Tyreek Hill. All we did was bring Jordan Poyer down in the box, dude. Whew, I'm sure there was more, but man, the second half adjustments to take away that run game, I don't think they ran for more than 20 yards the second half.
The second half, ready to get this? What's your over under the number of total yards they had in the second half? And I do know the exact number.
Total yards over under. What can you set the over under at something and I'll guess over under?
52. Over under.
I think they were under 52.
Yep. 45 yards in the entire second half. The number one most productive offense in the entire league.
Yeah, dude. And, oh, my God. So sick.
In a game they needed to have. I think regardless of injuries, regardless of situation, like they needed to have it. They needed to put it together, and they couldn't against honestly, we had tons of injuries. We're going to talk about them later, but we had players drop out. Rasul Douglas left. Tyrell Dodson left. Like Taylor Rapp, I don't think he finished the game. Like we had problems too, and we were playing backup, second line players, and they came in and took care of business, took the ball away. I don't think they even got a first down. I think there was 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out.
Yeah. It was I think they had 3 and outs, 2 4 and outs.
Nice.
The defense in the second half was flat out fucking crazy. It was
you know
so well coached.
Go
ahead, Tom.
Yeah. I'm so glad they're playing well because that's what's going to serve us well come January here. You know, This is the kind of ball we need to be playing. Being able to win on both sides of the ball and not just rely on Josh Allen having to put the cape on is a pretty big deal.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Big time. Now, let me pose a question to you guys. If Deontay Hardy doesn't run that pump back for a touchdown, what's your confidence in the Bills coming out with a W in this game?
Not as high. That was a huge turning point.
Dude, like straight up, it depending on how far we go in the playoffs, right? Deontay Hardy might have saved the season with that. Like, and did you guys see on that play? It was a $25,000 play for him. He had an incentive.
It was $250,000. Let me do some research. I think it was $250,000 for that play for him.
Dude, either way, well, not either way. Your number is way bigger than mine. Place values matter. But like, dude, I think his incentive was like if he was averaging over 10 yards a return. Go ahead, Tom. What do you got?
Deontay Hardy's 96-yard punt. This is from Spot Rack at Spot Rack on Twitter. Deontay Hardy's 96-yard punt return for a touchdown raised his yards per return to 12.4 for the 2023 season, securing him a $250,000 bonus from the Bills. I agree. I think it was 9 point something beforehand, and then needed to be over 10 to trigger that bonus. And boy, ho, did he have a nice day.
Yeah.
Wow.
But dude, and take every penny of that $250,000, dude, because.
Please do.
He might have saved the season, truthfully.
Yeah, you know what? I probably from one of my beers I buy in the stadium, I think I got him halfway there.
Very true. Very true.
You're welcome, Deontay.
One thing I did want to point out, so I don't know if you guys ever saw it, the Vic Fangio presser prior to this game, dude. He talked a lot about James Cook, which I have yet to see an opposing defensive coordinator do. And his game plan reflected that, dude. He was very keyed in on James Cook. That defense was very keyed in on James Cook. And he didn't have a great day running the ball, dude. But what that makes me hopeful for is if teams are going to have to worry about James Cook, in theory, right, it should open up that passing game more. I didn't see it quite as much as we had hoped in this game. But it's one thing to say that you're worried about a player. It's when your actions back up what you're saying, right? And Vic Fangio, as the defensive coordinator for the Dolphins, his actions backed up that sentiment, which is just wild to me because when's the last time we had a running back that teams had to do that for, right? Probably
Shady
CJ
McCoy.
Spiller, Shady McCoy, yeah. So craziness, dude. I just thought that was very cool. But going forward, if that continues to happen, hopefully that will open up more of the passing game.
Yeah.
And that
That's
brings
a
us
great point.
to your big stat of the night, Tom. Go ahead and share it with us.
Before we roll into this upcoming first, wild card weekend playoff game, I just wanted to take a quick second and have us just soak in what's happening around us. The Bills have made the playoffs 4 years in a row. 4 years in a row. 5 out of the last 6.
Winning the
5 out of
division
the
in
last
those
6.
4.
Yeah,
Won the division
those
4
years
years in
too.
a row.
Yep.
4-year reigning champions. Only the Chiefs have done it longer. And I think this is important, right? Like we as Bills fans suffered for so long to have this exciting, exhilarating roller coaster of an alien leading our team to multiple playoff berths in a row, multiple division leads in a row, taking us from, week 12, we were 6-6. We were in dire straits. I could have sworn that we were going to hang up this podcast. We were going to be done because there's going to be no fun. It was, but here we are. They pulled it out of their butts and they won out after that loss to the Eagles. And they haven't been only doing that this year. I didn't realize this until finding this fact kind of flying by on Twitter. And so many of you guys may have already heard this, but I think this is insane. The last 4 years, the Bills are 22-0 after losing a midseason heartbreak. 22-0 to end the season. This year, they lost week 12 to the Eagles, overtime. Heartbreaking loss. We all watched that. We all reacted to it. Heart-wrenching. 2022, week 10, overtime loss to the Vikings. Our poor asses were in that stadium. That sucked. And we won out.
It sucked so much.
It was terrible. It was awful. And they won out. They won every single game the rest of that regular season. 2021, week 14, overtime loss to the Bucs. They lose out. They win out. They win out the rest of the way. 2020, week 10, that stupid Hail Mary game, lost to the Cardinals. The Bills win out the rest of the way. For them to be able to just take care of business at the end of the season is remarkable. And I want to bookmark this, and you guys have to hold me accountable. If we have a slump in the middle of next season, tell me I'm a freaking idiot. I'm not believing it for 1 minute. I am not believing it for one freaking minute, and we're going to win. We're going to be just fine getting into the end of the regular season.
That's a bonkers stat, dude. Like that's absolutely crazy. That's so many games.
22
That's
in
and
an
so
important
many.
time when other teams are also scrambling, trying to make up for make their season count.
Yeah.
I think that's remarkable that they're able to put it back together and figure it out.
Late in the season when there's a lot of tape on what your team can and can't do, like they're still just steamrolling. Yeah.
I think it's so exciting, and we're so lucky to be Bills fans right now, right here, and I think that's awesome, and I love you boys, and I'm glad we're doing this.
Yeah, we earned it as fans, dude. Like we earned every bit of gloating, every bit of celebration, every post touchdown shot. We went through a tough stretch, dude. So you're right. It's good. It's really good to sit down and reflect on it because the recency bias is so extreme. I know, especially for me, like as a sports fan, I'm full on. What have you done for me lately? Right. Which is why 5 weeks ago I was leading the parade for Fire Sean McDermott. But it's you're right, Tom. It's important to step back and just be thankful that we have something to hang our hats on. I gotta quote Josh on this one, right? Like it's nice, like you never say no to a division hat and t-shirt, but all that does is secure you the next game at home. It's like you gotta go take care of business now, man. Like we can't keep losing in the same spot,
And to kind of set that up, I think the Bills have set themselves up to have the best possible path they could have, right?
100%.
Other than getting the 1 seed and winning those stupid games they could have been in the line for the 1 seed earlier on. Who cares? That's not a possibility anymore. This is the next best step. And they sorry. For those of you who don't know me, I have a next best step tattoo. I got video now. Ready? How do I get the right angle? Okay, it says next best step. And that's the next best thing that we could have. Yeah, sorry.
Nice.
Everybody bear with me.
Yeah.
And we get the Steelers, the number 7 seed in the AFC Steelers at home in Orchard Park, coming in hot on Sunday at 1 p.m. Looking like a crazy Western New York weather day. Probably lots of winds, probably lots of snow. And you know what? But it's also the Pittsburgh Steelers are another Western, Northeast team. So I don't think anybody has an advantage there. It's just who's going to be able to come out on top.
Yeah, 20 to 30 mile an hour winds. It's going to be cold, mid-20s, and it's supposed to snow a little bit, anywhere from 1 to 3 inches is what they say. And everybody in Western New York knows that could mean 7 inches, and nobody bats an eye.
Yeah. There's the weather is concerning because in a game like this where you have a quarterback like Josh Allen versus a quarterback like Mason fucking Rudolph, the weather could be the great equalizer. Now,
yeah, it definitely benefits the Steelers a lot more than the Bills.
Yeah, they're still gonna have Josh throw the ball. We saw these wind gusts that we're talking about right now are still gonna be nothing compared to that Patriots game that we lost. Like, what is it, 2 years ago? I think that monsoon type game where like Josh Allen was still able to throw the rock. What we have to be careful of with this game is, you can't bank on him throwing deep, right? Because the moment you throw that ball deep, if one of those gusts comes through, it's either a pick or it's going into section 300. So, you got to be really careful with that. Before we get too far into this matchup with the Steelers, there's a really, 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 really good chance we're 1 week away from seeing Miami again. And I just want to keep that in mind with everybody. As Bills Mafia, we had our couple days of gloating. It's time to humble ourselves again. Humility is only 1 week away in the NFL. All right. So whoever listens, right, the gloating needs to stop now. We're on to Pittsburgh. We could see Miami again, and they're going to be pissed. And don't forget, they're going to have Waddle, Mostert, and Xavier Howard back when that happens. So we had our couple days, but it's time to dial back, focus on what's in front of us. I don't know how anybody...
All right, Dad.
Yeah, right? I know. Sorry, kids. I don't know how any player, Chief or Dolphin, is going to come out of that game with all their limbs not frozen. They're
well, you know what? Who cares? That's their problem. Yeah,
it is their
have
problem.
Fun with that one.
Yeah. So,
Jake, we
hugged
49 points on the Patriots in 0-degree weather too. So let's see if they put up 49.
Yeah, Jake, you talked about mid-20s, and I'm like, shit, that sounds honestly so much better than what Kansas City and Miami are going to be dealing with.
Oh yeah, that's balmy.
Yeah,
so
it's
gonna be great.
Just keep in mind, we could see those guys again very soon. There's a world where we could get humbled quick.
But that game's even more important. They got to come to us if they do make it through Kansas City.
Very true. And Bills Mafia, by the way, shout out Bills Mafia. We outnumbered them in Miami, which was just fucking crazy.
It was a home game.
Up. You guys are a joke of a fan base. So,
oh my god!
I thought we were done gloating. Wait a second. Whoa! I thought we were done gloating.
Right
just now, and right now. Okay.
These are statements of fact.
Yeah, right, dude. I'm not gloating. I'm just calling it like I see it. Y'all are a joke.
Okay. All right. No, I like it. I like the fun. So if we're gonna have fun, I'm gonna keep going.
Post game, watching Josh Allen walk around and salute the fans a little bit. It was still packed. The lower bowl was filled with Bills fans still.
Yeah. Just crazy. The fact that he was able to do that.
So cool.
Bills Mafia, love you all. Proud to be a part of the team. All right. So we got into the Steelers a little bit. I mentioned Mason Rudolph, right? And I think it's really important to note that Mason Rudolph is not the Mason Rudolph that we know from 2020. That was the last time he started a football game before these last few. He's looking solid, right? He's not an elite quarterback by any means, but he's managing the game for them really well right now. He had a throw last week against Baltimore. Granted, mostly Baltimore's second string players, right? But he had a throw to Deontay Johnson that was an absolute dime, dude. It was just we can't take this lightly, right? Mason Rudolph is not a Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Tua type guy, but he's playing good ball right now. He's playing good ball at the most
against
important
who
time.
Though? So I'm gonna put he's playing good ball. I agree. He's playing better than he was, but he played well. He scored 17 points against second string Ravens.
Yep.
He scored 30 on the Seahawks. Okay. He scored 34 against the Bengals, who have been a shell of themselves. Like, I don't know. I
Yeah, but
think
not their
yes, but I think
defense.
context matters.
Well, the Cincinnati, like that, their defense, those weren't second string players. They
Yeah,
hung up
but they're not.
34 against the Bengals defense.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yes, he's definitely more dangerous than the last time we saw him on that Thursday night game and when we played in Pittsburgh a couple years ago. Like I remember that game and it was a joke. Everybody was saying Duck Robinson was better than Josh Allen here, but
Duck Hodges, dude.
Duck Hodgins, that was what it was. It was Duck.
Duck
Yeah.
Robinson.
like exactly like some
Clarence
guy
McNulty over there throwing the ball. So sick of Clarence McNulty.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't know. Like, yes, they celebrated that they scored over 30 points for the first time in years.
I
Years.
know.
Like, I don't know. I don't know. And in
Yeah.
bad weather, I'm taking. I don't know. If we lose to Mason Rudolph because he has a godlike game and he's 1,000 times better than Josh Allen, then you know what? Hang me up. I don't know.
I don't expect with the weather, right? They're going to lean immensely heavily on the run game, right? Which has been working super well for them recently. The big change that they made was oh God, what's that tackle's name? Broderick something? Broderick crap. I'm producing
Project Jones.
Project Jones. Thank you so much. Yeah. He moving him to the tackle position did seem to do a lot for them in terms of running the ball. Najee's the really physical presence. Jaylen Warren is a little bit more athletic, has really, really, really good vision. They're going to get him involved in the zone running game, similar what the Devon Achane did with Miami last week. So going into this game, I'm hoping to see right off the bat more of that single high safety look with Jordan Poyer down in the box, right?
Yep.
I think that's where I'd like to see a start. Do you have a thought there, Tom?
Let's let Mason. Yeah, I agree. That's my formula for this game is let Mason beat us.
Yes.
If he's the one that we lose to, then we don't deserve to go on to the divisional rounds.
Exactly.
But let's take away that run game, force Najee and Jaylen Warren to just keep spinning their wheels, give them some let them take their rushing attempts, but just like stifle them at the line. And let's see what Mason can do. He's probably going to take a couple shots down to George Pickens. He and Pickens have been making some good connections lately. So I'm sure that they will make the attempts, especially if they get some single coverage looks.
Yeah. And Pickens could be a problem, dude.
So with the weather kind of maybe negating some of the pass game, if you guys had to pick right now, Bills or Steelers, who has the better run game overall and who has the better running backs?
I think right now the Steelers have the better running game. In truth, I think the running backs are probably a wash. They probably have the better 1-2. I would take James Cook over any of them. But
when you put Josh Allen in the formula, then
that's true.
And that's the X factor. Like, do you want to include Josh Allen in that? If we're talking strictly running backs, I take James Cook over all of them, but they probably have the better 1-2. Our 1-2 right now, if he can go, he's in concussion protocol, is James Cook, Ty Johnson, right? Leonard Fournette's mostly serving as the third running back.
Yeah.
So their 1-2 is more formidable. However, you add Josh Allen to that equation, now the Bills might honestly have the better running game just because there's so much more variance.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we can run
so much more dangerous.
Yeah, run options where they're not going to have Mason Rudolph run with the ball.
Right.
Josh Allen will have designed run plays for himself.
And I've loved how much more he's gotten involved in the running game and how they're designing more plays for him to just take it. I remember hearing one of the announcers during the game talk about how Josh and Joe Brady have spoken, and Josh has said, look, give me a run play. I want to get involved. I want to get into this. This helps me get into my groove. So I just love that he's been doing that more.
Yeah. Honestly, dude, every time, like, I used to get really nervous when I see Josh Allen take a hit, and still when he's underneath the pile, I still get nervous, dude. But when he's running the ball and I see somebody just make a form tackle and hit him in the waist stomach area, that like it like builds Josh Allen's game breaker meter, right? Like him taking a couple hits safely, knocking on wood, him taking a couple hits, dude, like you just said, Jake, it like gets him going. It gets him into his groove. It turns on his competitive juices. And when that Josh Allen comes to play, dude, y'all better watch out. Because that Josh Allen is the scariest player in the league, bar none.
Yeah.
Josh Allen well, you know what? I'm not going to say this stat out loud. Never mind. Yes, continue on. My superstition meter is just going right off. I'm not saying this.
I totally get it.
Moving on.
Another potential thing for this game this weekend, AJ Klein signed to the practice squad. This to me does not indicate anything positive for Tyrell Dotson, who is injured.
Yeah.
So he had a shoulder injury, left the Miami game. This doesn't feel good for me. So I imagine we're going to start with single high safety looks with Jordan Poyer down in the box with Terrell Bernard and Balon Spector as your starting linebackers. I think depending on how well we defend the run, there's a world we could live in where we maybe run a more traditional 4-3 and have Spector, Bernard, AJ Klein in as linebackers. I don't love that because who does that mean comes off the field? It's Taron Johnson, who is probably one of our two best defenders right now. So I don't know how much we'll see that. My guess is little to none, but it's something to be aware of just based on how well Pittsburgh has been running the ball recently.
Yeah, no, I think it's absolutely something to think about. And I think it was cool to see Balon Spector come in last game and play well. Like he was not a liability. Well. As soon as I saw him come in, I was like, oh boy, like this guy's gonna. And he played well. He honestly did. He did what he was asked. Thankfully, he's set up in this defense and by Sean McDermott to not have to be asked to do everything. He's playing forward on his toes. He's going forward. He's leaning, defending the run and comes off the field in third and long, any kind of long situation. And they brought in that extra safety. So that's where Taylor Rapp was in quite a bit this last week. So I think we're going to see more of that. And it was exciting to see Balon Spector come in and play well as a depth linebacker.
100%, dude. Another thing to keep in mind here, obviously the big thing for Pittsburgh is no TJ Watt.
Yeah.
Right? He can't go this week, which
we
never root for injuries, but when you're going to make a run, dude, you got to get a little bit lucky. And I'll chalk this up into the luck category for the Bills, unlucky for the Steelers. That being said, this defense is still freaking stacked, dude. There's a lot of really, really, really good players. I'm talking about Minkah Fitzpatrick, right? Probably one of the better safeties in the league. Excuse me. Cameron Hayward is insanely good, right?
So good. He's old.
Yeah.
Man, that guy has some juice.
Yeah. You've still got, these guys have so much depth on defense too, dude. Nick Herbig, Marcus Golden, really, really, really good edge rushers. Joey Porter Jr. At the cornerback position. Now, here is where I would like to see us look to attack a little bit. If I'm Josh Allen, I am going at Levi Wallace all goddamn day.
I know that name.
Yeah, you do know that name. Former Bill. Played pretty well for us. Is still holding on to a starting job, dude. But, if there's somebody that knows how to take advantage of Levi Wallace, it's probably 17 in Buffalo. So,
yeah.
That's where
I'll take
I would
that
look.
Matchup any day.
Right, me too. And then similar to was it? Yeah, it was Miami.
New England.
New England. Thank you. Unathletic linebackers, right? Kind of a similar situation. We could see another big game from Dalton Kincaid, but if you can't go at Levi Wallace, I'm looking to take advantage of these linebackers, dude. Kincaid, Knox, James Cook, Ty Johnson. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Don't be afraid to check it down. That's one of the huge keys for me again this game. Take advantage of the weak, again, professional athletes. They play in the NFL. But as far as professional players in the NFL go with those guys, right? They don't have a single guy in that front seven that can keep up with James Cook or Dalton Kincaid or Dawson Knox, right? So if you can put those guys in conflict, I mean, get after it,
Hey, you possible sports betting sponsors out there, I will be smashing the overs on receptions for Kincaid and James Cook.
What are they at right now?
I have no idea, but you know what? On Prize Picks, our hopeful sponsor for this podcast, who pays us no money yet, but hopefully lots of money in the future, I will find it out.
Dude, while you're doing that, Tom. So I've got a couple keys to the game here, right? Defensively, for the Bills, stop the run, right? Be ready to stop the run. Like Tom said, make Mason Rudolph beat you with his arm, right? You take away the run game, you make that guy have to throw the ball in this weather. I don't like Pittsburgh's chances. And then make sure you can generate organic pressure, right? I know we're talking about stopping the run game, but be able to get pressure with just your front four, right? Those defensive ends that we have, go to work. Side note, real quick, hoping that Von Miller is not active. Just as a quick side note. Tom,
Yeah, I agree. I bet
he
will be, though. I do. So, Dalton Kincaid on Prize Picks, our hopeful sponsor on this podcast, is at 36.5 receiving yards, and James Cook is at 20.5. So, yeah, please, thank you all day.
Yep. I would take those two. Mm-hmm. Offense, keys to the game. Continue to establish the run, right? You're going to have to in this game because the weather's going to be shitty. So you can't bank on the passing game. Continue to lean on the run game. Continue to let James cook. I just said don't bank on Josh being able to throw it deep, right? We have potential for 20 to 30 mile an hour sustained wind gusts, right? Which makes throwing the ball very difficult. And then, like I said, dink and dunk on those linebackers until you're blue in the face.
And
those are my big keys.
There's been a little bit of a trend this year of the offense coming alive towards the end of the game. I mean, it kind of happened against Miami. It was a fourth quarter come back and then take the lead and win, right? And that's happened a couple of times. So I hope what we see is the offense come out, playoff game at home, ready to play, put up a couple points early. That makes establishing that run game and doing those dinks and dunks just to chip yardage away so much easier, right?
Yeah.
Right? Tom's pointing at me. Let's go.
Tear it up, Nigel. Look at our baby boy. He's grown all up. I love it. What an analysis, Jake.
Yeah, what do you got? What's on your head?
I love that. Yep. You're 100% right, dude.
No, yeah, that's a great, like Tom said, dude, just a great breakdown there, Jake. Super correct.
And I think it's also interesting to think about that Josh Allen coming out in his last game presser saying the ball came off his hand better than any time it has in the last couple of games and the end of that Dolphins game. So hopefully he's able to ride that high, continue just dealing and dicing, and come in and just take care of business. At the end of I have an end of the day point. Nige, do you have anything else that you want a little specifics here? Or are you ready for my end of the day?
I want to talk about the Bills for as long as we can because I know our Sabres talk is going to be short, but I don't even want to have it.
My thing at the end of the day is go for a win. It doesn't, we're 0-0s, right? It's the record doesn't matter. I don't care how we win. I don't care if we win by half a point. We got to win. And that's all that matter. Win and go home. No treacherous injuries, and let's get out of this game alive.
Amen.
Yes, sir.
Go Bills, baby. You guys got a score prediction? We haven't done one of those in a couple weeks, I noticed.
We have not. We've been slacking on that. We got to get him back on that. Come on. But now we're on tape, so we got to. So
yeah, we should.
Okay, I'm going to go with mine. Yes, right. I do. I'm going to go 24-13 Bills.
Oh, you almost took mine verbatim. I'm going 24-10. 24-10 Bills.
Okay.
Jake's looking up a score, Gami. I know it.
No, I'm not. I promise. I have to. It's hockey's so simple. It's 3-2. I have to think. Okay, a touchdown's worth 7 points. 7 points.
There, yeah.
Dude, you're a finance bro.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Usually, I just pick two random numbers, but I'm gonna think about it. I think the Steelers score 14 points and the Bills score. Oh my God. 27 points. 27-14 is my vote.
Okay.
Wow. The brain power to get there was amazing.
Yeah, dude. 27 it's a great guess, dude. 3 touchdowns, 2 field goals.
My poor head.
In there. Yeah, your poor noodle.
I've had a few concussions, guys. Bear with me.
Take a sip of beer real quick, because you have to walk us through our Sabres stuff because I just can't do it.
Is it that time? Is it that time?
Yeah.
Is there anything else we need to talk about for Bill stuff? I think we're good.
Nothing for the Bills, but do we want to do a quick bracket? Talk about who we think comes out on top.
Or
do we want to skip that? We'll skip it.
Doesn't matter.
Hey,
Take care of your shit,
how about
Buffalo.
this? We're gonna peel the curtain back. We did it yesterday. We're gonna post it on social medias, and you all should go do your own bracket. It's this great link. I'll send the link to the guys so it gets up on the social medias too. We did end up taking our boys in blue all the way to the end, and it's kind of fun to see what you think might happen. So we will post that on social medias, and you should as well.
No homer picks
baby.
there. That's our
Go
genuine
Bills.
thoughts. All right. Well, I tried to give you the fun topic, but you want to go to the not so fun topic. So let's talk about the Sabres, yeah?
Yeah.
Tom, I love the new drop you put in there.
Yeah. Acapella.
No, all right. We'll touch on the Sabres quick. And just a heads up, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. We're all kind of disenfranchised with the way the Sabres season has been going. So we'll probably dial back a little bit now that the Bills are in the playoffs. We hope to talk about the Bills being in the playoffs for a good number of weeks here. So bear with us as we all kind of trudge through the Sabres season. But real quick at the end here.
Yeah, the main reason we talked about that was because right now the Sabres conversations are the same thing each pod, right? It's the inconsistency. It's win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, win, loss, win, loss, win, right? It's the inconsistency. And we decided that we don't need to keep telling you the same shit over and over again.
Yeah.
Right. So continue, Jake.
The only consistent thing about the season is us bitching about the inconsistencies.
Yep.
All right. So since the last podcast, we had a win, and a loss. So credit where it's due. They got 2 in a row, which I think is maybe the second time this entire season. So
it is the second time. Yeah.
They beat up on Montreal 6-1. Devin Levi played great in that game.
Sure did.
They play in Pittsburgh. They win 3-1, and then they come back home to start off a 6-game homestand where
just absolutely fisted by Seattle.
Pummeled. Absolutely pummeled, dude. 5-2. We lost Jeff Skinner for a couple of weeks due to injury in that game. Just an ugly game. It just continues the trend of them being horrific on home ice. And they got 5 more at home. So I'm honestly, anything more than 5 losses is something I'd be happy with because they are just so dog water effort at home. But
yep.
Anyways, so upcoming games, they're playing tonight, Thursday, January 11th versus Ottawa. They host Vancouver on Saturday, and then they host San Jose on Monday in a matinee. So we've said it all along. We'll see what they do, but I'm not holding my breath. They're 17-20-4. They're 7th in the division still. They're 7 points out of a playoff spot, and their odds of making the playoffs, according to Money Puck, just continue to drop and drop and drop and drop. They're already in the single digits. It's not great.
I'm laughing at my discussion points that I wrote down.
Rip them off, dude. Yeah.
I read these verbatim.
Mm-hmm.
So I put down 4 discussion points. I guess it's cool we won 2 games in a row. Also, who the fuck cares? Same fucking shit, different fucking day. I wrote down Seattle. We've never beaten Seattle. I think we're 0-5 against Seattle.
Is that right?
Seattle, yeah.
Ever?
I wrote down Seattle has our number, and my God,
Sweet.
that team just plays the right fucking way, which they do. We can get into that at some point. And then Oki and Ryan Johnson are going to slot back in tonight. I'm not sure who's going to come in or come out for Kyle Okposo, probably Tyson Jost. And then at the time that Ryan Johnson was announced, Don Granato did not have a name for who was going to come out for him. So, yeah.
That's
the Sabres suck.
That Seattle team is great. They're kind of on the playoff bubble, but they've been playing good hockey lately.
They won like 7 straight coming into that game, I think.
Yeah, I watched the last game I watched them in was the Winter Classic on New Year's Day, and I think they shut out Vegas and just looked phenomenal doing it. They're a great team. Yeah. Well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, a team that is just put together way differently than the Sabres.
Yeah, it's the expansion team recipe, right? Like they don't have a ton of high end superstar talent. They're just deep. They're just deep.
They're so deep, bro. Will Borgen too, former Sabre. Shout out Will Borgen.
I wish he was
either 1
here.
or 2 points against us. Yeah, right. It'd be nice to have him.
Yeah,
dude. I think their only star is Matty Beniers, right? Like I think he will be a star.
I was gonna say I'm not trying to disparage him, but I mean he's a sophomore in the NHL. Like he's
really good though.
He's phenomenal. Yeah, he deserved the Calder. I thought he's lived up to his reputation. So
yeah,
but yeah, if that's your like star talent, that's I'm not I'm not trying to disparage him, but I don't think that's saying a whole lot in today's NHL.
No. I think the next best player is probably like Jared McCann, something like that, which is whatever.
Yeah.
Tom, get us out of here.
All right, folks. Well, here we go. Thank you all from the bottom of our hearts for spending some time with us. We truly do appreciate it. It would mean a lot to us if you could please share this episode. Give us a like, give us a follow on Instagram, X, and our freshly minted YouTube channel at Let's Go Buff Pod. These are my pals. That's Jake. That's Nigel. My name is Tom, and you're listening to the Let's Go Buffalo podcast. We're sending you love wherever you are. Go Bills, go Sabres, let's go Buffalo.